Hi guys, your girl Jellisa. I'm back and ready to record. Today is one of those review videos, and also to share my experience and how I failed my first road test today. A little sad, a little happy, very rejoicing, and also in God's time, right? So let's get it into this section. God has allowed me to sleep in a little bit, so I missed my first bus. I was a little late, so going through my morning routine, I prayed, read my Bible, had breakfast, packed a lunch, got set, and I took the Lord. Before I left, the Lord said take an Uber, so I got on the bus. Glad I did. Um, Talking to the bus driver, usually I sat down. I said I just want to stand and just ask a question. I said today, do you have any advice for me as I take my road test? And she was like, oh, good news! You can own the world, be happy, have confidence, and pray, and just be happy. So I talked about it. I'm going to pray for you. So my mom's praying for me. My whole family's praying for me. YouTube's praying for me. So I have a whole support system today. So I was really happy. That calmed me down. And also, I got downtown. I almost forgot to take an Uber. I saw no connecting buses. I said, okay, Lord. I said, Lord, how am I supposed to get there? And the Lord just reminded me to take an Uber. And the amount of money was in my account. It was exactly in my account. I said, okay, thank you. Because my mother helped me. And the money cleared. And that's just enough for my road test. I didn't want to go over. So it was $11 to get from point A to point B. And so as I got my Uber driver from Subway, it was a Nissan, so God's leading me to get a Nissan. I've been praying for it. He's revealed to me what kind of Nissan. And I got inside. His car was so spacious. I was like, oh, I can put my feet here, especially for adults. If I have people in there, it's not a tight car. Sometimes cars are just meant for just one person and small families, or 1 or 2 people. But this one was just enough because I had tall people in my family, and I was so excited. So the type of car he has is 2017 Nissan Altima. So I said, oh, this is really nice. And I said all the controls, everything, Wi-Fi, everything, built-in GPS. I need those things. I need everything that's built in to help me where I need to go for the summer. So that's the point started my day. Did I say, I forgot, maybe if I didn't mention, the Lord said to me before I left my house, be careful taking Uber. So I took an Uber. All day I'm like, okay, the Lord must be careful because you're taking your road test. You know, going through my day, being happy, I made it just on time. My boss is happy, I made it. And it was a slow start. I took my Uber. In my head, I'm like, no one knows I'm taking my road test today. I'm pumped. I'm jazzed. I'm doing all these things. I'm saying good morning to people. And so my Miss Apple pulled me aside. She said, okay, she wants to talk to us. I said, oh my goodness. But I said, it's okay. If she needs me to move stuff around, she needs stuff today, I'm happy. And she looked a little quiet, a little bit reserved. I said, oh my God, maybe it's one of those conversations. But God be the glory, left it to God's hands, right? So, going through the day, kids were quiet, graduated for graduation. I made the guitars God was leading me to do. Glad I didn't listen to nobody, said it's not going to work. I stayed up at 2 o'clock in the morning yesterday. I said all my work yesterday. The Lord allowed, I spent hours with my sisters doing my other work, but for some reason it wouldn't send, right? So I sent that. So going to the day, I was like, okay, this must be why God said, be careful, you know? I said, what delays do I have? I'm going to leave it all my trust to God, right? So we get in there. She said to me, very nicely, very politely, she said to me that made me feel really good about me. She said, just you, I'm going to say Leaf, and you really are really reliable when it comes to helping out. She said, but the person, Leaf is in the hospital and we have to be able to, now we're down a room. I was just rejoicing to God, saying that thank you, Lord, for restoration in my classroom, that they put a teacher in there because I'm supposed to be taking a month off when it comes to the summer camp job. And also she said to me, it's really hard when, she said, I don't understand if you have a medical leave or a leave or something else to take a leave in absence, but it's not in the handbook for leaving for a second job. Okay, but I was listening. God said take a risk and be careful, right? And also I said medical. I said, okay, only reason I know for me to so won't look so bad, to balance everything out, I said, okay, my reason why I'm taking this leave of absence to help my family. So I'll have to leave my mother's information to put on the table because a couple of the teachers are going to be out because of their medical. But I try to be professional to work around my family, regardless how my family's working, for to give God my time and just go and be a strong vessel of God. But I asked way before everybody else, and I wish I was a little bit transparent, but I didn't want to spill all my business out, because God said don't talk too much. This job, keep your mouth shut. So this is the timing, and I'm going to provide my information. I texted my mother. I said, Mom, I need your information about the medical so I can take a leave of absence so I'm covered. So that was the first one. And then the second one, God said command before we went on the playground with the kids. So I said I command in the name of Jesus, call out Jesus' name, whatever was going to happen in the spiritual, natural realm, I don't know. But I was trusting in God all day to show me favor, and I'll see what He did. Everybody protect every child, praying on the playground, restoration. I prayed yesterday, and sometimes God sends you to pray over things. Even sometimes in the madness, things God wants you to pray for, right? This is different steps of my day, and I'm going to share, and this is my testimony basically about how each step of my day, so, and me being obedient to God. And so lunchtime comes around. I had one of my children in the classroom. They put the lunches on the table. We had a good start. I was saying, Lord, oh my goodness, these kids are so calm today. We're having a great day. Kids are not here. Praise the Lord, restoration. So I'm doing this and that, and I'm going around opening all the kids' lunches. Miss Apple's cleaning the bathrooms. We're going around. Everybody's happy. The atmosphere is quiet, peaceful. No child's crying. A couple kids are whining, but we're moving along. You know, I said, Lord, I'm jazzed about my license today. I'm going for my road test. I got everything I needed. God be the glory, right? So I go around these children, and I get to this one child. His parents packed him a plantain. I'm highly allergic with anaphylactic shock. I cannot consume it. I cannot be near it. If I inhale it, if I touch it, I break out and my throat will close up, you know? So the timing of that was not good. So I said, oh Lord, I don't want to take any Benadryl right now. If I have to do that, we'll have to, but I'm not giving Satan this room for arrows, right? So I said, you guys, he has bananas in his thing. I was thinking, Lord, I don't want this child not to eat, but he cannot stay in here. I packed all his stuff up. I said, this is not the day, y'all. Everybody's looking at me like I'm being dramatic, but I'm like, y'all, you understand? You know, I said I checked my ears. It wasn't swollen, but it was just a tiny bit here, a little bit scratchy. And then everybody's like, just relax. But I'm just saying, but they're observing me, right? They're observing me. But I'm like, okay, but people think I'm dramatic about it, but I'm not. You know, but I said, you understand, like, everybody else, if something is important to them, you know, they'll feel the same way about it. But I said, I was in the name of Jesus, I said, Lord, this is where the enemy think he can get it. Because the week before, I was on the bus downtown. I was anywhere, I just saw a banana everywhere, just banana peels underneath my seat. It was just the enemy was trying to poke at me and say, I'm going to get you, I'm going to get you. But I rebuke you, Satan. But anyway, keep it moving. Call the name, blood of the Lamb. I said, Lord, I command this anaphylactic shot to December. You know, I had 2 EpiPens in my bag and Benadryl. But I said, Lord, I have to take my road test today. So with that, it subsided. It passed. The wave, whatever that was, wave went off of me because it was just a tiny bit. But one can do its job. So we're moving on with that, right? So took a break, called my mother. She said, I'm going to go support you at the DMV. So we exchanged numbers. She took the bus up there. And also the driving instructor was late, not because of him, because 3 weeks ago, the person said when I scheduled it, I said, I think you have enough time to get from point A to point B. And she said, they scheduled me to be picked up at 1:45, and I have to be at the DMV at 2:15. There's no way a new driver is going to make it in that time. You know, if you got on the highway, yes, but taking the main road, I'm not comfortable. I said, Lord, all the last 3 weeks I was saying to myself, I'm not going to have enough time. The Lord was not leading me to do nothing, because sometimes in your lateness can be a glory to that. So I left it alone. God was not leading me to touch it. It's there. I rented the car. When I drive, I got all my paperwork. So we get there. I was late. We got there around like 9:20. So the guy, he's really friendly. He was just there, my driving instructor. He said, you're doing very well. I'm doing so well. So I got there. I blinked out when it came to parking. So it is a hit or miss, right? But I said, you know what, even if I said, in Jesus' name, I'm going to pass in Jesus' name. If I need to work on something, I need to work on something. It's not the first time where I surprised everybody through making mistakes and then correcting, God leading, just smoothing it out. So I get this instructor. He was so happy. He said, I really hope you don't get this one instructor. I really hope you don't get this one instructor. He was really stressing that. And guess what Jellisa got? That instructor that fails everybody. He just said to me, he stepped in front of me. He was like, oh, this is my student. Take really good care of him. He said, oh, and I haven't seen you in 3 years. And the guy looked him up and down like, okay, hi, how are you? Because he failed his last student. He was a grown man, doesn't matter, made him cry in his 30s. And he talked to his boss about it. So he said, he didn't say nothing to like psych me out, but I didn't connect. I kind of did connect, but he said, just good luck. Remember I told you, he just left and he turned the car around, so it's just easy, because when I parked it wasn't easy, but he turned it around so it can easy for me to get out. So he gave me the keys. We walked in there, and he said to me, the DMV driver instructor said to me, okay, roll down the road nose so I can give you instruction. So I said, okay, Lord, while he's out there, I'm adjusting my mirrors. And I rolled down and listen, okay, can you do the signal left, right, blah, blah, blah. But I'm adjusting my mirrors so I can, because I'm here, I'm connecting the dots, I'm not stupid. And I'm like, okay, Lord, if he's probably one of those, like, let's quick, let's go, we don't have time, you have to go left, left, right, 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 He's a really friendly guy, The Lord said to me, sometimes you don't know people's hearts, they can put on a fake smile, Some people hearts are just black, so, he has a job to do, and people do it in their own way. But we all know his plan. And so we get there. I did very well. I will tell you 3 points where I know I was on a stop sign. What I like to do, I like to count 1, 2, 3. He said, please don't count out loud because it distracts me. I looked at him like, what? Because some people have different tics. Some people need a pat. Some people need to hum. Some people need different ways to concentrate. For me, helping me to drive helps me to talk it out and breathe. And also because I can't, everybody has their nervous tics. Everybody has different ways for them to process. For me, talking different ways, I don't know, something about counting around that time helps me. So that really threw me off. And also just energy around him, which just felt like he was just so bland. I don't know, very sweet souls. Sweet, very sweet guy, but he was just there, and he was just telling me, and I made a mistake. I swear he said go straight. He told me to go right, but then he said in his words, he said, I told you to go right. I made a mistake. If I made a mistake, I said, I didn't hear you, I'm so sorry, but he said go right, but he had an accent. I kind of heard he mumbled it. The whole entire time he's been talking very loud, but under his breath, he mumbled. But I didn't tell my driving instructor. I said, Lord, look at this man. And he wrote it down. All the time he was writing. He kept on, shh. First it sounded nice to street writing. He kept on writing, and that was really irritating me. I said, keep writing. You keep writing loud. I said, you keep writing a lot. And also, another thing, I know I'm going to talk about different points about it, so let's just get this off my chest because God's leading me to talk about it. So, which point, Lord, I can talk about? So, okay, as we get to, I'm going to just jump to where I failed at. I know what he's, also, this is a good one. He said to me, why are you going 45 miles per hour by the DMV? I said to him when we started, it was 35 miles per hour. And he said, where did you see that? He said, why do you think that? I said, because it's not posted. He tried to trick me up. So at least I knew that part, because I'm not perfect at this, you guys. But thank you for listening. Another thing, when I got home, when I parked the car, I first is this way, I did it this way, in 2 lanes. I already knew I failed with that. I cried because he let me finish. He saw my driving instructor. I already saw his face, and I said I know I failed. Anyway, but the D&D instructor was like, he saw my other instructor, and he was like, just finish. So I said, I can't fix it. It's too off and blah blah. He tried to be nice and be like, okay, people at the mall try to fluff it up to make, I'll give him credit for the effort for that, for making me feel bad. I cried in the car, I cried in there, I cried at the DMV, I was like, cried everywhere. I was just crying when I got home. Anyway, just letting it out. So I was on my porch. This guy comes onto my porch He said, my mom's next to me. This guy comes over and he looks out of the ordinary. I said, Lord, why is this guy interrupting my conversation in his jumpsuit and his water bottle? He said, you know, you reminded me about someone who I saved today. This young lady who I took from my church, where her boyfriend wanted to slash her, and she was smart enough to, someone told her that if in an abusive relationship you're supposed to stay because a man beats you, everybody gets beat in a relationship. No. He said to me, there's two things I'm going to tell you. Do you love yourself, or do you want people to respect you? I said, respect. He said, no, sweetie, you want to go with people who love you, because Jesus loves you. I said, oh. He said, I just happened to see you crying, and I don't like to see people cry or women cry, and you remind me of somebody who I just saved. You know, he said, I don't want to know too much, but as we were going on, I said to him how all day the Lord's telling me to be careful. He said, that's so funny. The same person I'm talking to, the young lady, the Lord said the same thing for her, to be careful. But then her friend goes talking in her ear that you can save, God forgives. So she didn't listen to God's word. She went to the guy who was ready to slash her, went back into a relationship. But you, young lady, or obedient to God. So listen, I prefer to at least try to, you know, we don't know what left or right is going to happen, but we know we have to go straight. God said go right, you go right. God says go left, go left. It's just the point where this guy, who, ordinary person, I feel like he was an angel sent from God. Like, he gave me a hug. Like, in my neighborhood, people usually keeps to themselves or hide by, but this man was genuinely loved. And I really needed this person to kind of back me up. And it was really good because I calmed down after that. And I was really grateful for God. And I feel like he was an angel from God, from heaven. And God put him the right path at the right timing. And we talked a little bit. My mom went to go rent a car. And I'm going to be excited. I'm going to drive myself downtown and put this box in. I just need more practice. In 2 more weeks, I'm going to sign myself up for the trust again. Thank you for listening, because different points of this conversation can just be, because I thought it was just going to be one point of the day. I said, okay, the Lord said be careful, or it could be God can warn you on Thursday, and this thing can happen a month from now, but you still have to remember what God is telling you, you know. But I'm glad I got it all done in one day, because the enemy tried to poke at me, the enemy tried to put me down, because I said to the guy who was the pastor, he was a pastor, I said, you know, sometimes the enemy tries to poke at you because your biggest blessing is about to be here. You know, driving is, so many attacks happen during this time, but I felt the confidence. Usually when the Lord told me to do this when I was 19 years old, I just said, I doubted myself. I don't need to do this. I just got, then 2 years later, I got my drug and alcohol test that's needed for that. But now I did the driving school God's been telling me to go. I printed out the drug and alcohol test. I did my road test. I got driving in the car. I'm fulfilling all the things and mastering. But even if I trip up 1 or 2 times, you guys, there goes who this is going to make it. So with that enough said, thank you for listening to me. The Lord said to me, be careful through, I did fail today, but I will win next time. But I'm glad I'm safe. I'm glad my job's been held. I'm glad that God is preparing me to go to summer camp this summer. God will make a way, and I have to repeat to my boss what my decision is. You guys already know what my decision is. I am going to go to summer camp, because God's telling you, be driving yourself to camp and go to summer camps. God's leading you, tell you to go, you go, regardless what people says. And I'm praying that it will all work out for them, and you have to be obedient. So you guys, I love you guys. Love is all around. It's turning to 19 minutes. Sometimes messages from God can be really long. And this is my testimony, how God said to me, be careful. And me failing my first driving, the next time I'm going to pass. And I'll update you guys on any changes. And thank you for my giveaway. And the giveaway belongs to you. I'll check my email, see anybody send me their address. And when I get my next paycheck, I'll ship it out slowly as time to see what comes up. So I see you guys. Bye.